Okay, now let's discuss why you actually care about what we just talked about. States, equilibrium. More than that though, where have you seen this? Now, I've really already kind of given you the answer, probably an answer for this. One is a hot cup of coffee, okay? If you've had anything that is hot, hot soup, hot coffee, hot food, it is not in equilibrium to begin with, but if you leave it on the table long enough, it will be in equilibrium. That hot soup is not going to be hot for very long. It's going to become cold soup. It will not be nearly as delicious. So that is where you have seen something going from a state of a dynamic state where it's changing to being static in equilibrium, not changing. The last question I have for you, which we didn't really focus on too much because I wanted to kind of give it to you here, is why does it only take 2 intensive properties of a system to determine a state? Why not 3? Why not 4? Well, the answer for that is not too complex. It all comes from the ideal gas law, which if I want to, I can rewrite that as PV equals RT. There we go. That's specific volume right there. Now it says 2 intensive properties. What you realize is that if I know the pressure and I know the temperature, that is 2 intensive properties for a system, and therefore I know exactly the size of my system and I know everything I need to solve this ideal gas equation. But intensive properties aren't just pressure, temperature, and density. We will eventually get enthalpy, we'll get internal energy. Sorry, that's total energy, my bad. Internal energy, entropy, and exergy. There's a whole bunch of other properties we haven't gotten to yet. And these are also 2 properties that we can use to determine the state of a system. And we're actually going to have to use those to determine the state of a system. So just remember that as we go forward, we're going to be using all these properties to figure out where we are, because if we don't know where we are, we can't solve our problems. And I'm sorry, the biggest reason for this is because you need it for tables. Like, that's how you're using all of these, is always to figure out where you are in the tables so you know all the information you need. And chapter 3 is going to be really heavy on that. But I promise we'll take our time, we'll go through it slowly, we'll figure it out together. So that's it for this time. Just want to make sure you understood that, why it took 2 intensive properties. And I will see you all later. Bye-bye.